We started going to parking lots and we started doing cold call. Slowly and gradually, we closed one deal from that parking lot that paid her $200. He's like, "What's your salary?" I'm a VP of an organization, I get paid well. And he looked at me, he's like, "Are you out of your mind or something? Like, why do you want to do this?" He talked to the CEOs, he talked to the higher VPs and directors in the organization, and he mentioned that Jisan is making a marketing agency, is a direct competitor, he's taking our clients, he's taking our information. I haven't done any of those. The first call he does, somebody tells him, "Don't call me ever again."
Anywhere, any social media platform, most of the time people are trolling corporates for work-life balance.
When you don't have that $20 million sitting in your bank account, don't worry about work-life balance because those are man-made words. They just make it, lazy people make it.
Hi everyone. Whenever we hear about successful marketing agencies across the world, all we think is there must be millions of dollars in revenue, huge offices and big size teams. But what goes in developing that huge agency? What is the effort involved? What are like the behind the scenes kind of setup? We are going to explore that in the podcast series where we meet agency owners and discuss about their lives, how they started, what they are doing and what is it that they have achieved, how are they helping people, small businesses and big businesses grow with their expertise. Today, for the first episode, I can have none other than better than Jisan Biswas, my inspiration plus one of the leading marketing agency owners in Toronto, Canada. He's the founder of Orcafy and we are probably having a fantastic discussion with him today on digital marketing and his journey across. Welcome, Jishan.
Thank you for having me, Shayan.
I have to ask Jishan, how running a digital marketing agency struck you and at what age did you start?
So it goes back to when I first came to Canada when I was 18 years old. Okay. When I came here, I didn't have any clue that I would get in this space. I didn't have mentors. I didn't know a lot of people in the industry. Never knew that I would be doing this in my life ever. I came as a young kid, graduated from Darjeeling, from one of the top schools called St. Anthony's. It's in Kurseong. Um, Very naive. I came in, I started doing odd jobs just to pay my bills, initial time. Then slowly what I started doing is along with my course, because I had a course that I had to do for 2 years. It was a marketing course. And then I started taking inspiration that, marketing is something that that interests me. Yeah, something that keeps me moving. I talked to my professors, got help. And the first time I cracked an internship at Best Buy headquarters in Burnaby. So I traveled all the way from Toronto to Burnaby. It's in BC towards Vancouver. From there, I got to know how Google ads work. So there was a team that basically used to run $1 million campaigns for Best Buy. And I was just a small portion of it as an intern. I used to get training from them. I had great managers there, great thought leaders. They were kind enough to teach me how Google ads work. And 3 months, I had a great time. And that's when I realized that, marketing space is for me. Till then, I had no clue that I'm going to open a marketing agency or going to lead such a big team that I'm doing right now. I wanted to renew my contract after 3 months with Best Buy. Did not happen. Came back to Toronto, applied in multiple marketing agencies to get in, just as an analyst position for paid ads. There is a company called BreezeMax Web, and BreezeMax Web gave me the first break. The VP that was hiring at that point of time, his name is Vishal Nanchahal. He knew that I didn't know much about paid ads. I didn't know much about Google ads. I was just starting off my life. And he gave me the first break. And he told me that, Jisan, if you're willing to learn, if you have resilience, if you have something in you to prove, sure, join the team. And again, I joined 3 months of internship for free there as well. And then I started off and I never looked back.
So that's actually interesting. I can actually relate with you because I also started my journey when I was 18. Plus, I am very near to Darjeeling. I stay near Darjeeling in in Siliguri, which is also near to Kurseong. One thing I was really curious about since the time I have met you, why Orcafy? What is the story behind that name?
So, Shayan, to be honest, It's not like we thought about Orcafy overnight and things started working out for us. When we were working for an agency, um, right from analyst, I became a manager, I became a director for the same agency. I worked in that agency for good 6 to 7 years of my lifetime. After a director, I became the VP of ad operations, and I was the youngest VP of ad operations there. And I had my picture on the website. It was a big, big achievement for me. There was a particular IT section manager. His name was Parth Patel. He used to come to my cabin once in a while just to have a conversation or fix my computer in my cabin, or sometimes when I had those antiviruses problem because we used to use Windows back then. Something struck me that maybe Parth is somebody that I can really share things with, because I didn't have a lot of people to talk to at that point of time, because I was in a managerial very VP position, and I did not used to speak to a lot of people at that point of time. I didn't have the moment to speak to people, and I was just very reserved. So I kind of thought, if I tell him few things, he'll listen, and he did listen. I asked him, Parth, are you happy what you're doing in an IT sector? He said, I'm not happy, but I'm just doing it. I'm getting base salary. I'm getting paid base. I come in at 10 o'clock, leave at 6, and it's just going on. And that struck me. I'm like, do I want to do that throughout my life? And I never hated my job. I loved it. Breezemax Web gave me the best 6 years of my life. They gave me a break. They gave me promotion. They gave me every single thing that anybody can aspire and dream for. They made me what I am today. But I was having a conversation with Parth, and Parth told me that, you know what, Jisan, I'm just coming in and I'm just, going out at 6, coming in at 10, going out at 6, and it's very monotonous. I want to change something. And I asked him, do you want to build something? He said, I'm an IT guy. Like, I have no clue about business building. I have no clue about how things work. I said, no problem. I know how it works. I've been in the industry for a very long time. I know how it works. Obviously, I'm not a business person. I'm not a full-blown entrepreneur, but I know how to sell. That's my art. I know how to sell, and you might, if I train you, you might be able to manage just ads clients. That's all. Can you do that for me? He said, hey, Jisan, you know what? I'm an IT guy. I've never done ads in my life. I don't even know what Google Ads is all about. I don't even know the algorithm. I don't know anything about it. So if you think you can train me, sure, I can get started with you. And he said one word, Jisan, I believe in your leadership. I've seen you for years. He was in Breezemax for years, and he was in IT sector, an IT department. That had nothing to do with paid ads department, nothing to do with me. But he has seen me. He has seen me grow from an analyst to a manager, from director to VP. He has seen me, and he says, "Jisan, I trust in your leadership, and whatever you're going to do, I think you're going to do the right thing. And if you involve me in that, I'll give 100% towards it." And that's all. So I try to talk to him day in day out. Try to know a little bit about him, his life, where he comes from, what he wants to achieve, what he wants to do. What I learned from him is he is an instruction taker. He's not an instruction giver. So if you tell him to walk straight, he's going to walk straight until he hits a wall. That's him. I spent days and nights and days and nights just training him how to run paid ads. For a person who has no technical background, just an IT guy that does fixing of computers and antiviruses, for him to learn paid ads, it's a very, very different dimension, very different perspective that he has to get into. I trained him like there was no tomorrow. Weekends, weekdays, after work, uh, at work, courses. I've trained him with every single knowledge that I had for 6 years. I've trained him with everything. Sometimes he came back to me as like, Jisan, you know what? I cannot do this. It's not for me. I tried. I can't understand how paid ads work. What is CPC? What are impressions? What are cost per click? It just doesn't get me. I said, no, you have to train yourself. There's nothing in this world you cannot do. Train yourself. Because if you do the fulfillment, I can sell, but I cannot sell and do the fulfillment. And we started doing that, and we are still working for Breezemax Web. And obviously, we cannot open a company working just for somebody, right? So what we started doing is we started going to parking lots, opened up our like one-time chairs, like summer chairs, and we started doing cold call. So we started doing cold call. He was doing cold call, and I was doing cold call. And the parking lot was such that there is a golf course right across, and there is like, well-to-do people, they're playing golf, and I used to see them swing that ball, and I used to imagine how are they doing that, and why am I sitting on the other side of the parking lot? If they can do it, why not me? So with that inspiration, if I have to do 50 calls in a break, because we had a break of 1 hour, right? We can't do much calls. We because we I had my regular job as well, and from the regular job, I take 1 hour break. I come to the parking lot, make calls, and then go back to work, right? So if I had to make like 20 calls, that inspiration of seeing other people playing golf, I used to make 50 calls. So slowly and gradually, we closed one deal, one single deal from that parking lot that paid her $200, just $200 a month. And that client stayed with us for 2 months. So hard times, Parth, Parth and me, we saw hard times. We started off with um a lot of dream and passion in our heart, and I never chased money till today. In my lifetime, I can say that with pride, I've never chased money. I've never ever chased money. Money is a byproduct. It will come to me, and it is there for me. It will always be there for me. It will back me up. It will come behind me, but I'm not going to chase money. I'm only going to chase my heart. Because if I know in my heart I have passion, I have ambition, I have um, care for people, um, respect for people. And whenever I work with people, I always take them with me. I treat them the way I want to be treated. And I know if I have a lot of people with me, good intentions, clear heart, money is a byproduct, and it will follow me. I've never ever followed money. So that's how we started. And when to coming back to your question, I have to tell you these because I can't just tell how Orcafy came into place, right? It's not a simple story. Uh, right from parking lot, and then we wanted to do a normal name website, right? Because it's very complex to make a company here. In Canada, it's very complex. Like, you can't just open up a company by doing job, because we have to pay our bills, right? Every single month, you have to make sure you're working every day in order to pay your bills. You can't just say, like in India, I guess, you can take offs and it's okay. I think it's okay. But here, it's a necessity to work every day, because if you don't get paid for the day, your rent will be due by $100. If you don't earn that $100 a day, your rent will be due. You can't pay your rent, you can't pay your groceries. In India, you have your parents, or maybe you have a home paid off, or groceries are cheap. Here, groceries are not cheap. It's very expensive. If you go out to drive, gas is expensive, car monthly bills are expensive, insurance is very expensive. Everything comes with a cost here. So if you miss one day of your work, you won't be able to afford your rent. Take it that way. Keeping your work full time, thinking about a dream, aspiring for it, uh, uh, making sure that you don't jeopardize your job and open something on the side. Talk to lawyers, which I'm not really sure about what to talk to lawyers about, how to incorporate things. I was not a full time citizen at that point of time. I'm just a PR on work permit. I didn't have all my permits in place. A lot of tension, pressure. Opening up a company is difficult. So what we came up with is, we came up with a name called Simply Digital Space. That was our first name. Our organization had a first name called Simply Digital Space. We took that name and we made a website. Uh, we did everything. Okay, we made a website. We made Google Business Profile. Put some fake reviews in there. I'm being honest with you. Put some, like, I told my friends and family, can you put some 5-star rating there? Some Google removed it. Some were there. Some I created a fake email and I put a review there just to have the ranking up. Okay, just to have the rank, because
I feel every business starts that way.
yeah, I had like 8 reviews from there. 7 of them were my family. Last name, we had the last name is the same. Um, so we did everything, and now Part told me, is like, Jisan, you have done everything. You created a website, you created Google Business Profile, and we have a full throttle thing going on. We have like one client pays $200. That's fine. What about the legal aspect of it? Because legal aspect in Canada is very important, right? Because if somebody uh, gets into a disagreement, they sue you, it's all in clouds, right? We don't know the legal aspect of it. So first of all, I had to find a lawyer, and I didn't know what to tell that lawyer. So the lawyer asked me. So I found a lawyer. His name was Rakesh. His name was Rakesh. I found an Indian lawyer. Um, And I told him about my story that, hey, you know what, I'm working full time and I aspire to do this. He's like, what's your salary? I said, I'm a VP of an organization. I get paid well. I'm okay. And he looked at me, he's like, are you out of your mind or something? Like, why do you want to do this? What's your problem? If you're earning above $120,000 a year, nobody in your right mind, plus I make bonuses, commission, I have a name, I have a good connection, I have good relationships with people. And I just want to open a company that has $200 worth client. He was like, are you out of your mind? Like, don't do this. I have kids too. Like, I care for my kids. His kids were like my age, at 22, 23 years old. He said, don't do this. This is stupidity. If you really want to make money, this is not the way. Work your job. Maybe he himself, he was representing an organization. He said, you know what, Jisan, I've been working in this organization for 10 years. I make good money. And in Canada, I think business owners are not that supported. It's not US. The economy is not booming like US. It's very limited business owners in Canada. And whoever does it, they have to face the tune of hardship. So he told me all these things. He's like, Jason, you want to incorporate? No problem. I'll give you the charge. I'll tell you this is what it takes. This will be my fees for incorporating and whatnot. But you're not making the right decision because you're already working with an agency and you're getting paid well. Everything is fine. Why do you want to do that? I said, you know what? I just don't know. I come from a business background family. My dad has been doing business all his life, and I think I have a lot to do. I feel blank from inside. I don't know why. I didn't have money problems. I didn't have problems as in I have to come in at 10 o'clock at work. I can show up at 12 o'clock at work. I can leave at 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Nobody questions me because I was in that position. I've earned it. I've earned it for 6, 7 years. And I was fine. I was in my comfort zone. But there was something blank in my heart. I wanted to do something that I wanted the dopamine of creating something from nothing. I don't know why. I had that in my heart. Maybe it comes from my culture. I've seen my dad all throughout his life doing that. Maybe, I don't know. I had something blank in my heart. And money was not the problem. Trust me, money was not the problem. Money was more than sufficient. I was making a living. Um, I told the lawyer that, I have already created a website. I created a Google business profile. Everything is ready. He's like, you cannot do this. You have to incorporate the name. Maybe somebody else's name is Simply Digital Space. You need to check that first. You can't just create a website like that. You have to take it down. I said, no, we want that name. We already created a website. We spent $500, $400 at that point of time. It was a lot for me. We already bought domain, hosting, everything, right? We can't change the name. We got really personal with that name. So he's like, Jason, law doesn't work that way. First, I need to find out if there is any North American, in North America, is there any closer? Even if somebody's name is Simply Digital, you cannot have a name called Simply Digital Space. You cannot do that. That's not legal. So I told him, Rakesh, whatever it takes, I'll pay you. I need that name. That name is very personal to me. Whatever it takes, please give me that name. He did a bunch of search, and then it came out that some organization out there does some survey of media or something like that, and his name was Simply Digital. And it's today, even today, that name is there, and he does that. And in Canada, you cannot have a name called Simply Digital Space when already somebody has Simply Digital. You need to change it. So I told him, Rakesh, I need that name. So what he did, he was a very clever lawyer. So he wrote a big explanation. So you need to register your business to the Canadian government. And if the name is closed, there is a way to, kind of get that incorporated. You have to write a big, big explanation letter that business is something to do with media that does not correlate to our business. It is totally different. We are a marketing agency. We're not trying to be direct competitors. It's not the same kind of business. It is different. So please allow us to have that name. So he wrote a big explanation letter. He ran it through. He charged me $3,000 at that point of time to keep that name. I paid him $3,000. I said, this is my hard-earned money. I know I do a good job, but at this point of time, I need to pay Parth as well because Parth, I pay him as well from my pocket. So there's a lot of expenses. And I told him that, if I'm paying you $3,000, I want to make sure that I have the name. He said, no problem. Pay me $3,000. I'll make it happen. Lawyer fees, $600 an hour, whatnot. I said, okay, no problem. I paid for that name, and that name got approved. It's a big. I don't know where this podcast is going, but I need you to know all of these so that you know where the name came from. Okay, but I need you to tell, so you can cut down a few questions if the time goes over. Okay, but it is interesting. Trust me. So
It is definitely. I'm hooked.
yeah, so I had that name, $3,000. I wanted that name. It was in my ego. I'm like, no, I really love that name. We bought it for $3,000 and we got it incorporated. First time, I have no clue how lawyers work, how they talk, how they behave. I have no clue. I've been telling Rakesh is the first time I'm talking to a lawyer. This is the first time I'm like, talking business to somebody, and I don't have a lot of investment in my pocket, right? But however, I took the risk, paid it off, no problem. Now the problem here is when you are a VP of a company, at the same time you cannot have a business that's totally running and legal, right? You cannot have that. And somehow VP of uh, I don't know if I should not be telling that in public. I don't know, you guys can cut it off, but VP of some other department in the same organization got to know that I have an incorporation business. And he talked to the CEOs, he talked to the higher VPs and directors in the organization, and he mentioned that Jisan is making a living. He is making a marketing agency, he's a direct competitor, he's taking our clients, he's taking our information, he's taking our client information, he's nurturing them. I haven't done any of those. I don't have to. Okay? I haven't done any of those. I trusted in my process. I know I can get my own clients. I can tell it upfront in camera today as well. I know I have the ability to get my own clients. So, well, the story was made up, and the story was kind of thought in somebody's head that, Jisan has more than 40 plus Google reviews. Well, all of them were fake, but oh, he has reviews, he has a full blown website, and you search that name, Simply Digital Space, and if you're an incorporated business, by law, there is a website that registers your name, and you can see who's the directors, when the business was incorporated, when it started. You can see all of those information. So it was kind of in the air. Our CEO and the co-founders never used to come to the office, and they got to know something, and they came to the office in the last 2 months. They haven't been in the office. They came after 2 months, so I was kind of startled. Like, why are they in the office, right? Um, are you with me? Do you understand where things are? You can ask me
Yeah,
if
yeah,
there's
yeah,
any
yeah.
question.
I'm being able to imagine the entire scenario. My God.
Yeah. So the co-founders and founders came in. The other VP who basically told things about me, he was there too, and whatnot. And they asked me, Jisan, are you out of your mind? You are all, like, they called me in. Are you out of your mind that you have signed a contract with us? It's a legal binding. You cannot open up a business. You cannot take our information and sell clients. I'm like, whoa, stop it there. I haven't taken any of your clients. If you can prove it, I'll leave my job today. Okay. Secondly, this business has been incorporated about a month ago, and relax, it has nothing to do with any of your clients or competitors, nothing. Okay? It is just a side gig that I have that's going on, and which is true. It was a side gig. It's not something that I'm being direct competitors with them. But again, law is law, right? In my legal contract, I'm not supposed to do what I did, right? Even if I create a Google business profile or a website, I'm not supposed to do that, right? It's a law is law. We are business owners today. We understand that, and I respect that, right? And the CEO of that company, he was very understanding, and he said, Jisan, you have two options. Okay, I understand where you come from, and it's okay if you're doing that on the side, and you're my company's VP, right? VP of ad operations, and you're running such a huge team with so many people under you. They take inspiration from you, right? They look at you as a mentor. um, Now when you do things like this, and when the news goes out and about, the company's reputation is at stake. So you have two options. I understand that you opened up a business, incorporated under your name, and I understand it's brand new and you're just doing it for 200, $300, doesn't matter. But law is law. And they had their lawyers there as well. So they kind of explained me that I'm on a written binding or on a contract that I cannot have, it's a clause called non compete. I cannot have incorporation or a business functioning fully when I'm working for somebody at a VP position. Okay, and it's fair. So the CEO gave me one option, two options. He said, either Jisan, you resign today, or you shut down the business. I didn't have any option because I didn't want to resign at that point of time. I was not ready financially, mentally. I was not ready. So I told him, you know what, Andrew? His name is Andrew. You know what, Andrew? What I'm going to do is I am going to shut down this incorporation. Okay, I'm going to take it down. I'm going to take the entire website down, Google Business Profile down, shut it down, and tell my lawyer to shut down the incorporation. That's another $1,000 to shut it down. And with a heavy heart, I told him, you'll never have any complaints ever after that. Even if I try to, do something else of my own, I will first resign and then try something else. I'm not going to do it while I'm at work. So, and Parth was called in too because somebody told about Parth as well, right? They mentioned, Parth goes out with Jisan and he's kind of taking inspiration from Jisan and they're doing it together. And Parth is a very upfront person. He's very upfront. If you ask him something, he's going to tell you the truth or nothing. He's very upfront. So they called Parth as well. They asked what exactly happened here. He said, Jisan gave me $200, $300 a month, and he just asked me to work with him, and I worked with him. And we didn't steal any clients, we didn't take any information, we didn't use your process, and we didn't even get started. But I understand there's legal aspect to it. If you tell me to resign today, I'm going to resign. And poor Parth, like he had a base minimum job. He was just working in IT section. Looking at him, I don't want him to resign, right? I told Parth, you know what, we'll part ways. It's okay. It's fine. We will shut down the incorporation. We will send out an official letter to the CEO of the company saying that we have shut it down. And please understand that we're not trying to snitch your information or have some kind of evil thought about your organization or pass on information to anybody or steal your information. So what we did, we went to the lawyer again and we told him we have to shut this down. He's like, you guys are the stupidest client I've ever seen in my life. You guys paid $3,000 to incorporate. You forced me to write that letter, which took me good 15 days, 2 weeks to write that letter, get it approved by the government of Canada, and got that name, and now you want to shut it down. I said, I have no other option. I have to shut it down. He said, okay, pay me $1,000 more, I'll shut it down. So we paid him all in all $4,000 to incorporate something that we don't want to carry forward and $1,000 to shut it down. $4,000 gone. Before even I earned $200, $4,000 is gone out of my pocket. So I have to shut down everything. I sent out a letter to HR, Andrew, co-founders, the other person who basically told about me that I'm doing well in life and whatnot. Shut it down. Completely shut it down. We forgot about our dreams, never went back to the parking lot ever again. Done. Everything is over. And Parth, after 8 or 9 months of that thing happening, and we never did anything after that. We were very honest. We shut it down. We till today we have a folder called Simply Digital Space Shut Down Drive, and we put all our stuff in there and all our plans, our business plans, everything is in there, and we shut it down. We just completely dormanted it. Um, and Parth, after 9 months, he came to me, is like, Jisan, you know what? I don't feel fulfilled at my job. There is something you did to me. There's something that you did to me in my brain. I can't work here. There's something that you told me. There's some imagination that you sold me on. I cannot work here. And I really cannot work here. I have to do something of my own. Are you with me? He came and told me, are you with me? I said, okay, that's good. Maybe, I stopped dreaming. I stopped dreaming and you could not, right? So I told him, what do you want to do? He said, I want to resign. I want to resign from this position. I said, okay, who's going to pay your bills? He said, Jisan, you're going to pay my bills because you gave me that thought and dream. Now you're going to pay my bills, but okay, sure. I'm going to work up a number. I'm going to tell you this is my rent. This is my car insurance bill. This is my car monthly payment. I'm going to give you exact number and I'll just save $200 just for my rainy days. And I know you get paid well. So if I resign from here, I think he asked me for $1,600 a month or something. And he said, I'm going to resign. I just need $1,600. And that's what I need to just survive. Can you afford that? I said, if I don't make any savings and whatnot, yes, I can afford it. No problem. I can take that risk. Okay. And then he resigned. He completely resigned. And then we had a co-sharing space, right, in Matheson Boulevard. We got a co-sharing space. It's just a small office. We pay them by hour, and Parth
And then
used.
how could you afford his $1,600 when you also left your job then?
I didn't leave my job. I was still there. I didn't leave my job. I was still there. Parth resigned. Parth resigned. I was still there. So the founder gave me option, right? He said either you resign or you shut down. I shut it down and I stayed. And I completely shut it down. And after 9 months, Parth came and told me that he wants to resign. Not me. He wants to resign and he wants to start something off. So he resigned. I said, I'm going to keep my job here. You can resign and I'll pay you from my job. And I'm well paid. I'm fine. I'll pay you $1,600, $1,700, whatever it is. I'm going to pay you. We got a co-sharing space. He started off and he's like, Jisan, I started off. What is the name? What is the next name you want to keep? We cannot keep that same name because we already had a bad mouth and people know in the market that we have Simply Digital Space, might not look good. So what we did, we didn't even incorporate anything on that name. Nothing is. Path was like, just forget about incorporating, forget about business names, registration. If we have clients, if we have 10 clients, we register the name. If we don't have 10 clients, we're not registering the name. We need 10 clients. Enough with these expenses. We can't afford $4,000 from our pocket more. And I can't even go to that same lawyer because he thinks I'm stupid. He really thinks I'm stupid to shut it down. So my ego is like, I don't
Till
want to
now,
go to
does he
that
think
lawyer.
that?
To again tell him that, you know what, do one thing, give me marketing space. He'll be like, get out of my office. It's okay. You guys are lost it, just get out. I don't need your money, just leave my office. So I can't go back. So in that thing, Parth was like, you know what, you can't go back. It does not look good. Let that lawyer be. Get 10 clients. After that, if we have some money, maybe we'll hire some other lawyer and get it incorporated. We know the process. So I said, okay, sure, no problem. We get 10 businesses and then we start. So Parth starts calling people, and I am at my full-time job. I can't call people. Parth starts calling. The first call he does, somebody tells him, "Don't call me ever again." Second call he does, people abuses him, tells him stuff like, "Oh, you know what? You have an Indian accent, can't speak well. What are you trying to sell me? Who are you?" Parth is a slow talker. He's not a salesperson, right? He was out of frustration. He was a salesperson, right? He can't talk like a salesperson. So it's like, do you want marketing? So the first call he does, do you want marketing service? He calls a dentist and says, do you want marketing? Dentist is like, I'm in between something. Like, you talk to my receptionist. He got that number from somewhere, LinkedIn, and he called the dentist right away. And he said, do you need marketing service? That's his pitch. He didn't have a pitch. He's like, do you need market? So he got pissed. So there's so many people he called, they get pissed because his pitch is not good. He's not a salesperson. And I cannot QC him. I can't guide him because I'm not there. I'm in my office, right? I'm in my full-time job as a VP. So he comes back after 1 month. He's like, Jisan, this is not for me. I can't do this, man. I can't sell. I have a problem. I can't sell. People are not listening to me. I don't know how sales work. You have to do this. You have to help me sell. I can fulfill because I know how ads work now because you have trained me enough. But you need to sell. So what I started doing is again I started going alone in breaks at 1 hour. I started going alone in that parking lot, seeing across the golf course, and I started making call again all by myself without Parth now. Parth is there sitting, he's complying, he's thinking about processes, he's building process. The money.com that you see is built at that point of time when Parth have nothing to do.
So we were at you starting to make calls going in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Okay. Whereas Parth was in office.
Yeah. So when I started making calls, I understood that I'm not good at it. Okay, because I'm a VP of ad operations and I know how to launch ads, manage people, um, and I've never been much exposed to sales. Okay, and I knew that I didn't have much sales quality back then because I was just operating with a bunch of people and I was kind of managing them, leading them, and I didn't have the power to sell at that point. My position was not sales. I was not VP of sales. I was VP of ad operations. I was doing ads, paid ads. So I knew that there was a lack in me. When I started calling, I knew that I didn't have the right pitch. I didn't know how to sell. I didn't have the right relationship building capabilities. I didn't have the right uh, mindset to captivate people for a long time. They were just dropping off. So I went back and I asked the founders, co-founders there, and I said, "Can I get into a sales role? I'll get into a sales role. Just give me very small amount of commission." I'll get into a sales role. They mentioned that, hey, Jisan, you know what, your position is such that we cannot replace you just like this. You have to do your existing work, and if you want to sell for the organization, you do it on the side. We'll give you commission. We'll open that door for you. I was the happiest person. When they opened that door for me, I knew I hit the jackpot. That's it. I spent 1 year. When I say sixth year, I spent 1 year to make it 7 years in that organization. 1 year, I have sold more than $80,000 in revenue. $80,000 in revenue in 1 year under me. $80,000 in revenue. I got trained by the best of the best. His name is Chris Miner. He's the VP of sales. He trained me. He gave me examples. He took me to meetings. He told me, Jason, this is how you sell. This is how you position yourself. This is what you have to tell near Canadian market. This is how the business owners in Canadian market works. He taught me every single thing in 1 year. And I was able to click $80,000 in retainer. Plus do my VP work on the side. Plus do marketing space on the side. So I don't have family members here, right? If I go back home early, what do? I sit down, maybe cook food, and do nothing with my time. So if I clock in at 10 o'clock in the morning and I go back home at 6 o'clock, I have nothing to do. I have nothing to lose. I'm a young professional. I have nothing to do. What am I going to do going back home? It's loneliness. It's just empty room and walls. I have to live by myself, right? I'm alone. Um, and I didn't have a lot of meaningful friends back then, because when you want to become top 1% or you want to get somewhere in life, you will not have friends. It's lonely out there, my friend. It's very lonely, very, very lonely. So coming back to my point, I learned sales and I started doing sales for marketing space. We got 10 clients under our wing. Once we got 10 clients, we thought now that the space where Parth is in right now, the office space, it's charging us per hour. So when he goes in there, we have to pay around $70 an hour, $80 an hour. And then it's not a permanent place because it's shared by other business owners as well. And Parth he needs to keep moving cabins from one place to another. I used to go there as well. Our clients used to come in. So it's going off budget. So what we thought is we started looking online for one room office. That room is going to be ours. It can be any office. The office can be occupied by somebody else, but we need one room. So, however, we found out one single room in Sherway Garden. And I'll tell you why I'm telling you that. One room in a real estate office. In a real estate office, we found one room. They told us you pay $1,000 every single month. That's your rent. But you can just use that room. That room is very small and stingy. Like the room is very small, very small. So me and Parth started off, we knew if we take that room, we need a salesperson. We got somebody, his name is Lorenzo. He's Italian. His story is interesting too. And he used to ride Uber, Uber in cycle, not car, not car, Uber in cycle. He is a delivery guy. He was a delivery guy. We gave out our requirement in Indeed, and I think he came from Indeed or LinkedIn. I don't recall. And we wanted a sales rep that can sell because I was working still somewhere else, right? And we did a lot of interviews and we could not connect. I always, I had a LinkedIn post recently as well. I don't look for a lot of noise in resumes. I look for that grit, that passion. I look for that fire in people. I just look for that. I know people are trainable. You can train people really well. If they start from scratch, you can train them. If they know it all, they're going to have their own process, own mindset in place. It's difficult to train them. So I did a lot of interviews. I could not find the right person. God knows I could not find it. Lorenzo came into place. He was very resilient. He called me 6 times, 4 times, like, hey, I saw a listing for a job. I want to do this. What's your commission structure? How much would you want to pay me base? Like, I want to join your team. I said, hey, Lorenzo, you know what? We have a small room here and we're not a big organization. It's a small room with one person who's functioning as a full-time. It's a startup. It's not even a startup. It hasn't even started yet. We didn't even decide on a name yet. Do you want to join the team? He said, Jisan, I ride cycle. I do Uber. I anyways don't make any money. So if you can train me, I know I have sales skills. I used to sell back in Italy. He's Italian. Back in Italy, I used to sell. I know I have sales skills, but I don't have my permit, work permit and whatnot. If your company can hire me, give me permit to stay, I'll work. I'll do anything for you. So he came just in having that mindset that he's going to do sales. At the same time, he's going to get his work permit to our company, working as a startup. That's where he came in from. And I said, you know what, Lorenzo, I cannot pay you full time. I can pay you bare minimum. I'll pay you for 4 hours instead of 8 hours. I'll pay you 4 hours a day. He said, okay, sure, I'm in. He came in. He started selling, picked up the call. Lorenzo doesn't know how to speak proper, I mind my language, but he doesn't know how to speak proper English because he's an Italian. He has heavy accent. He has heavy accent. He can't speak properly. But I know that he can improve himself because he just came from Italy. It's been a year. I know he can improve himself. Italians usually they have good catch in English. They have their vocabulary is right, but their accent is very heavy. When he calls, I hear the call recording. Clients sometimes say, "Can you speak slowly? Like I can't understand what you're saying." It's very bad for salespeople. Very bad. Like people can't say that. So he used to sit beside me sometimes because I had a full time job. I had work from home opportunities as well. So when I used to work from home, I used to work from this office, like in a small room office. I used to come with Parth and Lorenzo. I used to sit there when I used to work from home, and work. I used to work obviously on the other agency's work, but I used to overhear Lorenzo selling. I used to give him guidance. Say, Lorenzo, say this way, say that way. From scratch, I have trained Lorenzo from scratch how to sell. So every single thing that I learned from Chris, everything that I understood from Chris how to sell, I gave that right knowledge to Lorenzo. I gave it to him. I told him that this is how you sell, this is how you position yourself. And for the first 4 months, Lorenzo could not make any sales. Not even one sale for the first 4 months. Not even one sale. I was very patient with him. I was I kept him because I believed in him. And not a lot of people can do that. I kept him. I was paying 4 hours out of my pocket, Shayan. I didn't have any investment, no money. I haven't till today. I can tell you, I haven't invested even $1 from somebody else in this company. Never, including my parents. I haven't. I haven't touched even a dollar of investment in this company. Okay. Um, so 4 months he did not sell. After the 4 month, something happened. Something beautiful happened. He started clocking in sales like there is no tomorrow. Shine. He started clocking in sales like there is no tomorrow. He started his sales and he was at his best, and he still is my best man. And then Parth came to me. He said, Jisan, you need to resign from your job because we need to incorporate this business. We need to find a name. Okay, we need to incorporate this business. We have to find a name. It's time because we have clients now, and we cannot do legal business without incorporated name. Like it's not legal. We're doing illegal stuff. We cannot do it. I told Parth, okay, we have the capital now. I think I should leave my job and start off with this. And Parth told me that if you leave your job and you don't get any other business experience, you might think exactly how the other agency thinks, and you might have a uh, you might carry forward the same tactics, and if there is anything bad in that tactic, you will carry forward. You will not have any other experience other than that agency. So you need to work somewhere massive, which is a big organization, that where you can take, because like the agency that I was working in, it was a national company. They were doing really well, but it was not a big organization. They didn't have big, massive dreams organization, big places, big HR team. They haven't had that in place. So Parth consulted with me and he said, Jisan, if you leave that agency and you start your own agency, you're just going to think small. And that was the best advice I've got in my life till date. Because if I would have left that agency as is and then started off with this, I would have carried all the dirt with me. There was dirt in that other place because clients were not being maintained well. They were falling off too soon. They didn't have a big mindset. Things were falling off. They had good in them, but they had a huge amount of bad in them as well. So I told Parth, how about I crack a job in one of the biggest organization that has bigger departments in it. How about I crack a job there and I get a managerial position there? Is it okay? He said, Jisan, you haven't done interviews in 7 years. If you think you can crack it, go ahead, my friend. Like, if you think you can do it, go ahead. We have time. It's okay. Me and Lorenzo can handle the rest. Go ahead. You have 1 year time. I left my job. I gave my resignation. And then I applied for a company called Dental Corp. It is one of the biggest organization when it comes to healthcare. So they acquire dental offices, they buy them out upright, and they give them ads budget, they give them equipments, they give them their own practitioners, and they send the owner of the dental office to a vacation. So they acquire them. They acquire more than 400 dental offices throughout North America. 400. And I wanted to be a part of that organization. And Shayan, that office, it was core downtown office. Obviously, I cracked the job. I cracked the job in my first interview. I got it through a reference. Somebody referred me. I cracked the job. I sold myself really well. I told them, I can do it. Whatever tenure I'm going to work for you, I'm going to give my level best. And I did give them. I became the manager there, one of the four managers. I was one of the manager there, and they knew that I came from an organization I was a VP, and I was stepping down from VP to a manager level, and I was getting paid well there as well. And I cracked the job. And their office was in core downtown, beautiful looking office, very massive organization, publicly traded company. I had an amazing life of 1 year out there. I learned a lot from that organization. How bigger people talk, how they behave, how is their boardroom, how does it look, how they treat people, how they talk to people, bigger, massive, how they gather people, how they take people out, what are the conversations they have, the big talks, the big corporate talks I learned from there. I needed that in my experience. So Shayan, if you see in all of these talks, you'll find one thing which is always there. That is patience. I kept patience. I didn't think that I can crack something so easily. I can become an entrepreneur. I can become a businessman so easily. I never thought. I thought that there is a lot of learning that I have to do before I jump into something. I serviced 7 to 8 years of my life working somewhere else to build something that I have. I haven't done this overnight. I worked 7 to 8 years of my life. I give 1 year to Dental Corp. I've learned the big corporate world. I've learned how corporates behave, how they work, how they function. After 1 year of Dental Corp, because I was done. There was so many influx of clients coming in. I was done with Dental Corp as well. I could not do it because I was always honest with my job. When I was working for Dental Corp, I made sure that they got value out of me. Whatever, like if I was promised 10 to 6, I used to give them that 10 to 6. And after 6 o'clock, that's where, you know, our agency work starts. After 6 till night. 12, creating process, following up with Lorenzo, seeing what he did in his entire day, listening, queuing his calls, um, calling him at night as well, saying, I'm telling him that, hey, you know what, I have a job. And Lorenzo was like, Jisan, you have a job somewhere else? Like, how are you going to manage this? If you have a job somewhere, I said, Lorenzo, be patient, okay? I have something in my head, just be patient. And he listened to me. And he listened to me. He's like, okay, okay, boss, whatever you say, I'm with you. It's okay. I believe in you. I know I'm getting paid. I'm getting paid my commissions. I'm getting paid my base. I'm happy. It's okay. I love that room. I love that room that you guys have. I come in, I work, and I leave. It's okay. But he questioned me sometimes. He's like, boss, you have a job. Like, I don't know, like, which company has a boss doing job on the side? I said, relax, give me time. I'll come back. I'll come back. So that's before I came in, we hired Smeda. And Smeda, she was a star when she joined in. She is still a star. Both Lorenzo and Smeda really worked together. They believed in my passion. They have their dreams. They work together. They work in tandem. And when I saw that energy, that we are all so giving, we're all so adaptive, we're all so understanding that, hey, your boss works somewhere in a corporate job somewhere, and still they trust me. That trust, I wanted to build a name that incorporates all these values in it. It's a high level thought because I thought it for years. Okay. And then I told Parth, I want to have something of nature. of something that gives back to nature, of something that I want to have a name in the organization, of the organization, that something resonates to nature, something that gives away. Okay. And then, but at the same time, that name has to be top dominators in the industry. Whatever we do will dominate, no problem, we'll dominate. We have to have that thought process. So I did a lot of thinking, I did a lot of a lot of self talk. And then, I went back to nature. I was there in nature. I went for camping. I went back to nature, and I was just like all alone by myself, because Shine, it takes a lot of self realizing before you start something. And I did that. I went out to camping alone. I drove 4 hours alone, not because I felt like I have to, but I felt like, every time I take a drive by myself alone, I go eat in a restaurant alone in an unknown place. I go to Quebec, I go to the deepest remote places all by myself. The more alone I go, the more I realize myself with. There's something that I realize that, I have so much power and potential. I don't need validation. I don't need somebody to tell me, Jisan, you can do it. I know I can do it. There's something in me that is speaking to me. I don't need validation anymore. I don't need people to tell, Jisan, you have a $140,000 job right now, and if you leave this job, you're stupid to leave this job. I don't need all of those talks. I don't need noise. I don't need people to tell me what I have to do. I have to listen to my heart. So, in order to listen to my heart, I took a lot of alone long rides. I used to I used to go for vacations alone, not with friends. Didn't involve alcohol, didn't involve a lot of things that tweaks my brain. I did not involve anything. I was just all by myself. If I used to go camping, I just went all by myself for 1 month. That name took me 1 month to come up in my head, that I want to have a name called Orcafy, because it derives from the word orcas. Orcas are the most powerful mammals. They're killer whales. They're top apex predators in the ocean, nothing above them, not even sharks. Orcas are the topmost predators in the market, but in the ocean. But at the same time, they come with a lot of values. They hunt in pods. They're always together. They're very intelligent creatures. They don't hunt humans, right? They're looking for, so they know what's a human. Whenever orcas attack humans, they attack out of curiosity. They're not like sharks. They're very clever mammals. Um, and also, orcas have adapted themselves with global warming. They haven't gone extinct. They're also they do a lot of team communication. If you learn about them, they're very clever. They're very, very clever. They hunt in pods. They have good values in them. That's a value I wanted to incorporate in our organization. I told Parth, if the name has to come from orcas, it will be Orcafy. Just like how we have Spotify, Shopify, we wanted to have Orcafy. That's the thought we came into. So that's how the name came into place. And that's how we started something unknowingly. We did not think we'll have so much growth, so much things to learn, so many things to learn, so many lives to touch, so many people that will come, learn from us, and we learn from them. We make a huge impact in the market. I have never ever shined in my wildest dream I've ever imagined when we started this with $200 of a client that we started that canceled in 2 months. And I put this hand in my heart, and I can tell you, the ride was not easy, but it took me a lot of time, but it's fulfilling. It's very fulfilling. And I can guarantee you that even if I'm not in business, I do something else in my life, or maybe somebody throws me out of this business, but nobody can take this value from me, because I've earned it. It took me good 7 to 8 years to earn where I am right now. That's why I can talk long hours. I can captivate people. I can tell my story, and there is no lies, there is no fantasies in it. I can be very upfront. I can tell you that where I come from. I come from nothing. I literally come from nothing. And if somebody wants to build something, they have to be okay with spending good amount of time in an organization learning first, doing free internship twice, doing night shifts, working in factories, doing car washes, um, doing security job. They have to be okay doing that first. to earn something that they want to build. You need to earn it. If you think today, you wake up all of a sudden, you can become one of the biggest entrepreneurs. That's not how it works. Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, they didn't snatch things from people. They didn't snatch things from people and become who they are. They made it. It took them time. What's the age of Jeff Bezos? He's old. Bill Gates, they're old. They're very, very old. It takes them time. They start from garage, they start very small, they have worked their life, they have worked throughout their life to become where they are. I have utmost respect for people who are starting off, but I also think in our generation, right now, the generation which I see, there's a lot of FOMO that's happening. Fear of missing out. They see other influencers, they see one 30-second reel that somebody created, and they feel, by seeing that 30-second reel, they can create a 30 years old of organization. There's a lot of FOMO. There's a lot of impatience. There's a lot of there is no hunger. It's just impatience. This is just quick dopamine that hits you and it drops really sharp. It hits you and it drops really sharp, and you don't know what to do. If today, if you take everything away from me, I know where to start, which lawyer to contact, I know which accountant to talk to. Yeah, I'm going back to Rakesh. Rakesh, I lost it all. How can I have my name back? I know I have connections, right? I don't start from zero now. Well, I have a lot of learning. I have a lot of learning. I have a lot of vault. I have that I can go back to. A lot of archives I can go back to. A lot of mentors that I can look back to. Right? I have a lot of story that I can come from. And
in the Instagram, if I open, or LinkedIn, or even anywhere, any social media platform, most of the time people are trolling corporates for work-life balance.
okay,
Whereas you were spending your lunch break making calls. You said you logged in at the beginning. The first person to log in into the office was you. The last person to leave was you. And your co-founder forced you to get out of the office. What was the mindset behind saying that I don't need any work-life balance?
I have
And what
to,
is the message that you want to give for employees or people who are starting off their careers about work-life balance?
I have to, yeah, that's a good question. I have to go back. That's a very good question. I have to go back a little. Okay. Um, who created this rule called work-life balance? Who created this word? Who created this
LinkedIn
word?
probably.
Is it there in like dictionary or somewhere? Or work
Nothing.
life is separate, balance is separate, right? Who merged this word? Do you find in dictionary work life balance together? If you find it, it's okay. Tell me, who created this word?
We created it.
Somebody's frustration created this word, Shayan. Somebody's frustration created that word. Somebody who could not do well or achieve something, did not have the hunger, created that word, Shayan. First, we need to find who created that word. What made them create that word? And who we need to find it. Like is it Bill Gates who said that? Elon Musk said that? Mark said that? If they said, no problem. So I'm going back to the foundation. Work life is separate, balance is separate. Okay? If you try to merge them together, and if you think somebody has made that a national word or made that something that is there in dictionary written down, no problem. We can have a podcast about it for 1 hour, and I can tell you work-life balance is right. We can sit down and we can have 4-hour work, 4-hour balance. I can tell you that. Okay, work-life balance. There's nothing in this dictionary called work-life balance. If
You
today,
are saying a controversial statement right now.
yeah, I can be as arrogant as possible because I can sound as arrogant as possible, but I'm not. Okay, I'll tell you. I'll tell you one specific thing from my experience. If I would have work, life, and balance together, I would be an analyst forever. I would be an analyst forever throughout my life. And I have seen people who have balance, they have proper balance in life. Balance as in they will remain in that balance forever. They would, no, it's People are looking for that, right? If people want that, if you want $10 an hour, sure, I'm with you. You come in at 10, you leave at 3 o'clock, no problem. I'll pay you $10 an hour. I don't even want you to stay at 6 o'clock. Forget about 6. You come in at 10, leave at 3. Give me the output, I give you balance. But don't ask for more money. Don't ask for more fame. Don't ask for more resilience. Don't ask for mindset. Don't ask. You have a balance, right? You're working. You're working and you're getting what you deserve. Right?
True.
So, work-life balance is a beautiful word, right? I know you'll have family in life, you'll have kids, you'll have a lot to offer at that point of time. Work-life balance is earned. Work-life balance is not given to somebody. I can't give you work-life balance. You have to earn that work-life balance. And to earn that work-life balance, you minimum need 15 years to earn it. 15 to 20 years to earn it. If you start balancing right now, you'll remember this balance forever in your life.
You'll remain balancing.
It will be balanced. It will be at $10 an hour balance. Your wife will ask you, Shayan, $10, how can I feed my kids? Because you thought about balance early.
Balance.
Right? How do I feed my kids? Why are you so underconfident? Why can't you speak up? Those comes with balance. Because, if you, example, this is a very good thing, right? Your topic. Example, human mind comes in at 10 o'clock, leaves at 6 o'clock. What do you think that human mind is going to do? Come and work, right? You're getting paid for work, right? Within that work, I think if I tell you, so for an example, if I tell you that today your work is to drink this coffee, right? I tell you, today your work is to drink this coffee. You come into work, you drink this coffee, and your work is done, and you leave. You don't even get the chance to ask a question saying that, why did you ask me to drink this coffee? Where does this coffee come from? The curiosity. There is no time for it, Shayan. And when there is no time for curiosity, there is no time for growth. And where there is no time for growth, there is no money, there is no passion, there is no feeling, there is nothing. What are you trying to balance early in the game? You're 20 years old kid. What are you trying to balance? Your bank balance is 0. Worry about that. Right? Worry about your bank balance. Don't worry about work-life balance. When you don't have money, the world will balance you with every single balancing element they have. So, sure, if you're 40 years old, give time to your family. You need work-life balance. You have earned it at 40. You have earned it at 50, right? Fine. People have retirement plans. I respect that. They get old. Their knees get tired. Their mind gets tired. Sure, I respect. That's when people can say work-life and balance together. 20 years old kid, 25, 30 years old guys, work-life balance. Worry about your bank balance. If you have $2 million, $20 million sitting up in your bank account, sure, work-life balance is the way to go. When you don't have that $20 million sitting in your bank account, don't worry about work-life balance because those are man-made words. They just make it. Lazy people make it. Okay? True. That's to your answer. And also try to find it in dictionary. Where is it work-life balance and who made that?
That's nice. That's a viral content, by the way.
Yeah.